Recently we're working on this first generation turn signal switch repair, and there was a lot of parts missing, so I had to get my box down that had all my horn guts. Basically that's what I call all the stuff that goes in that turn signal switch area when you're dealing with pulling the horn piece off and having to reconstruct all that stuff. We had an opportunity to buy some of these turn signal switches from an outfit called Classic Parts. I wanted to give a quick review on that. First of all, their part number is TSL 63, but on the package they also say 29-560. So I do believe that's for a C10, but the one thing I noticed was that they are quite a bit different. Well, they are a little bit different than the original ones. You can see that the original one, that rusted one on the right, is really straight, and the one I got out of the package has got a curve to it. So that's not going to line up the same way, obviously, and would have to probably heat that up and bend that straight if I was going to use this. We're going to save that adventure for another day. But these will work. It might be needing a little factory adjustment, or you can just run it the way it is. But out the door, you're looking at about 18 bucks a piece, including the shipping. Of course, I bought 3 of them, so I don't know if that's going to be cheaper with more, or if they charge the same shipping, more or less. But anyway, there's that. And then I also wanted to show the difference between the first gen and second gen, which I didn't even realize there was a difference. And you can see that it's a little bit farther up on the length. And there's a little bit different placement where that hole is. So this is kind of an issue. I ran one of these second gen ones in there because that's the one I had picked out and had buffed out, and I had to grind off the corner so it wouldn't rub on that turn signal canceling switch. So there is a little bit of a difference, just to be aware that you can make one work on the other. At least you can make the second gen work on the first, and I don't see any reason why you can't do the opposite. But these two are the first gen, and the rest of those are the second gen. So, and it looks like the one that you get from Classic Parts is more for the first gen, since it's got that little cutout carved up. So let me show you real quick the difference installed. It's this piece coming in here, other way around, and it rubs on the turn signal canceling switch. You can see it, might be able to see it rubbed on that a little bit when it was turning, so that's not good. Had to grind that off. So that's the difference on the turn signal levers for the first and second gen. Also wanted to show differences or the variety of horn caps that they have for these. This is laid out, the second generation on the left and the first generation on the right. Some of these are more common. Of course, the Chevrolet ones are the ones that you see all the time, and the GMC ones are probably about 10% of the run. On the left we have Chevrolet and GMC second gen, and on the right we have the Chevrolet and GMC first gen. So the most common ones are the ones in the middle, this for the second gen and this for the first gen. They both have, all of these have the same rubber grommet that holds them in place. And these two are not very common. I see these on the Deluxe and some of the other window vans that are like the Custom and things like that. It's the only one I've ever seen of this one, but you just don't see a lot of the first gen Custom or Deluxe. So these caps are really unique. So this one's got some really interesting ways to hold it on there. And the only other example I've got of that is right here. It's in worse condition, and some of those tabs are broke off. You've got to be real careful when you pull these off. The ones that are unfamiliar ones are the ones that you can really damage, and I'll show you about that with the horn ring. So GMC, same thing. No real difference between the first and second gen, except it says GMC. So another popular item is this horn ring. This came on certain deluxe and custom vans, and is considered a desirable feature if you're really putting some special touches on your van. The horn ring and the taillight rings are desired items. And these are the caps that I have found for the horn ring. So you can see how they're held on, and when they go on there, it's not obvious how to pull this off. So there's a little gap between this ridge and the other ridge, and then you can just pull that off. But I've seen other people destroy this by trying to remove it improperly. And there's a couple of Chevrolet ones, and I wanted to bring these out to show that there's one that has like a smooth background and another one that has kind of a textured background. Now, I don't know if this one has been re-chromed. It's very possible that it has. I mean, it's in really nice shape, but I just don't have enough of these to be able to know. So anyway, there's that. We've got several broken parts. This is the center parts for these horn rings, and you see very few of these, and a lot of them you see are broken. So got to take great care with this. There's also some special parts. I wanted to point this out. If you're lucky enough to get your hands on one of these, or you're trying to scrounge up the parts to put one together, besides pulling that center cap off the correct way by just getting something plastic underneath there and pulling, the next thing is that you got the 3 screws that hold the insulator piece on, and then underneath that you've got.
All right, this is only going to be.
So underneath that horn ring, once you remove that, you've got the plastic insulator, but it's a little bit different shape than the standard ones that you'd use on the first or second gen ones. This oil can effect contact piece is also a little bit different. It's got some stand-up ridges, or some tabs on there, and that holds the tabs on the plastic piece, so that fits in there like so. The only other piece is the horn contact ring, or the horn contact shaft, whatever you want to call it, and that is right here. This one's broke, and it looks like it's a standard piece. I don't see any big difference on that with anything. So just keep that in mind, all these special pieces. If you got a horn ring, if you're going to spend money on a horn ring, there are other pieces that go with it that you're going to need to make that work. And I think besides the damage that can occur on removing these improperly, the other thing that causes these things to get damaged is when people hit that horn, I would imagine, improperly, or just remove it the wrong way. I don't know. I don't know what else is going to break these things like this. So anyway, take care if you got a horn ring, and make sure you got all the pieces if you're going to make a deal on one of these, because these can go for quite an expensive amount if somebody has one that they are willing to sell. This one's going to go on one of my first gen vans, but we're always on the lookout for these kind of things because they're popular and they look really good. So nice finishing touch. So there it is, horn buttons and turn signal levers.
But wait, there's more.
Okay, this is a product review of horn rubber. What do they call it? Horn mounting ring. This goes underneath first and second gen horn caps. And after a period of time, these get hard and brittle sometimes. This one's not that bad, but I'm gonna go ahead and put a new one on for Frank. And this one looks pretty good. I got this one from Classic Industries. And looks like it was $6 plus the shipping. It came up under 6768 center horn cap mounting ring. And their part number is 3931568. Let's see if we can get to right there. 3931568. So looks good. It's also got a really good symbol on there that I like. General Motors here, original equipment reproduction. So if you're doing a horn cap and your rubber's worn out, well then go to Classic Industries and get one of those.